Now I'm gonna discuss about introduction about continuous time Markov chain. Initially, the definition. A discrete state with continuous time stochastic process x of t is called continuous time Markov chain if it satisfies certain conditions. And the condition is the conditional probability distribution of future given the present and past depends only on the present. And mathematically, we can say it as p of x of t plus s equal to j given x of s equal to I, comma x of u equal to x of u is equal to p of x of t plus s equal to j given x of s equal to I. Here x of t plus s equal to j is the future and the state is j, future state. Present state is at I. And before time is the present time is, that is u. So this is mathematical expression. And again, stationary transition. The definition is that if probability, the above probability we discussed here, is independent of s, that is the present time. It only depends on the time increment or the interval or the difference between those times, future time and present time. Does not depend on s present time. This is called, if it satisfies this is called as stationary or homogeneous transition probabilities. Mathematically, we can say it as p of x of t plus s equal to j given x of s equal to I is equal to p of x of t equal to j given x of 0 equal to I. Okay, this is present at a time s. The state is at I. And here the future state is j at time s plus t is same as the time when started is 0 at state I, and the time at future is at t, is at j, and the time is t. That is only the difference is independent of the present time. Now, let us say take some example like the seeing sample path. If the initial state at 1 at time 0, let us take, and it stays in 1 for some time, and again it goes to 0 and stays in 0 for some time, again it comes to 1 and stays in 1 for some time, and again it goes to 2 and stays in for 2 for some time. This process repeats. Let us take like that. And this, the time in which it is stayed before making transition, that is a random variable which is exponentially distributed. And the proof will be discussed in next paper. It is there in next paper. And we can say this stationary probability satisfies the memoryless property. That is same as we discussed above. And mathematically, this memoryless property we can say as p of ti greater than s plus t given ti greater than s is same as p of ti greater than t. And the proof for exponentially distributed is by taking LHS equal to p of ti greater than s plus t given ti greater than s. Here I used conditional probability property, and the property is that p of a given b is equal to p of a intersection b divided by p of b. Here p of ti greater than s plus t and ti greater than s means that is ti greater than s plus t is subset of ti greater than s. So we can write it as p of ti greater than s plus t. And from memoryless property, we know LHS equal to p of ti greater than t. And now this whole term will be equal to p of ti greater than s plus t, and that is equal to p of ti greater than s into p of ti greater than t. Let if f of s plus t is complement of CDF, means that is p of ti greater than s plus t is f of s plus t. Then we can write the equation f of s plus t equal to f of s into f of t. Then we differentiate both sides by taking s comma t constant one at a time, means by differentiating partially or partial derivating. f dash of s plus t equal to f dash of s into f of t is partial derivative of this function, this equation with respect to s. And again similarly, we are derivating partially with respect to t. Then by dividing these both equations, we get f dash of t by f of t equal to f dash of s by f of s. And we took constant one at a time. So this function does not depend on s, and this function does not depend on t. That implies though both should be constant. And taking this as constant, then we get by integrating d by dt of log of f of t is equal to lambda. Then f of t will be c into e power lambda t, and this is 1 minus CDF. So we get the probability distribution function, probability density function, or PDF CDF as this one. This cumulative distribution function implies that intertransition time is exponentially distributed. Let Pij is probability that the process enters next state j by leaving the present state I. Then Pii is equal to 0. That is not leaving, staying in there, in same place. And the total probability should be 1. That is sigma j Pij equal to 1. Now let us discuss one example, that is birth and death process. Let us consider a system whose state is represented by number of people at any time. Let there are n people in system, and the arrivals distribution is exponentially distributed with the rate lambda n, and departures is distributed with lambda with mu n, and these both are independent. And this system is called as birth and death process. And the parameters lambda n from n equal to 0 to infinity is arrival rate. These parameters are called arrival rate. And mu n, these are called departure rate or death rate. This birth and death process is a continuous time Markov chain with states 0, 1, so on up to infinity. Transitions from n may go to only either n minus 1 or n plus 1. That is, from I, it may go to only I minus 1 or I plus 1. The probability that it goes from I to other state except I minus 1 and I plus 1 is 0. Now we discuss about relationships between birth and death rates and the state transition rates and probability. P 0, 1 equal to 1. That is, we started at 0 and probability that we go to 1 is obviously directly we can say that it is 1. It cannot go to any other state. That is, it can go to only 1. You know, P I comma I plus 1. That is, what is the probability that the present state is I and the future state is I plus 1. That is, probability of next state change is birth. Given I people are there in system, next state change is birth, means this one. We can use that lambda n here. Again, next state change is birth. We can write this as arrival comes before departure. That is, I go to, from I we can go to I plus 1 before going to I minus 1. That is, departure time is more than arrival time. So we can write P of x less than y given I people. That is, I people are there in that system. X is exponentially distributed with lambda I, and y is exponentially distributed with mu I. And using the joint distribution function, joint prob PDF, we can write this as double integration of x less than y fx comma y of x comma y dx dy. And since they are independent x and y, we can separate it as fx of x into fy of y. So now directly we know that fx of x is lambda I e power minus lambda I x. Here we derived that one. Here this one, we use this one. So by solving this equation, we get integration. Here x should be between 0 comma y, and y is between 0 to infinity. Since x is less than y, so x belongs to 0 comma y. So integrating it, we get 1 minus e power minus lambda y into dy. Now we are integrating with respect to y. Then we get it as integration 0 to infinity. Directly by solving, we get it as 1 minus mu I by mu I plus lambda I. From here, we get it as pi comma I plus 1 equal to lambda I by mu I plus lambda I. Similarly, pi comma I minus 1. That is same as here, arrival comes before departure. In this case, departure comes before arrival. So it will be mu I by lambda I plus mu I. Let ti, already we took that as time until next transition. That how much time it will stay, that random variable is distributed like that. So ti is minimum of x comma y. From here, we can do like p of ti greater than t, p of minimum of x comma y greater than t, p of x greater than t and y greater than t. Since both should be greater than, then only it's possible that minimum of x comma y will be greater than t. Since both are independent, then we can write directly intersection is p of x greater than t into p of y greater than t. And from here we get it as e power minus lambda it into e power minus mu it. And that is equal to e power minus lambda I plus mu lambda I plus mu I of t. This implies that ti is exponentially distributed with the rate lambda I plus mu I. That is vi equal to lambda I plus mu I. But for v0, there is no mu 0. Means it can go stay with only rate lambda 0 before going to 1. That is v0 equal to lambda 0. From here, Manoj will continue.
Now I am continuing from what Pranit has discussed. Now we will discuss about transition probability function, which is Pij of t. Pij of t is defined as what probability when a system takes place transition from state I to state j at time t in time t. This quantity is called transition probability of continuous time Markov chain. Now let us determine Pij of t explicitly in pure death process. Pure death process having distinct birth rates. Let xk denote the time spent in state k before making transition into state k plus 1, where k is greater than or equal to 1. Let xi be the time spent in state I before moving into state I plus 1. Similarly, xi plus 1 be the time spent in I plus 1 state before moving into state I plus 2. Then summation over all states, then summation over all time spent in state k equal to j minus 1 till it enters into state j. Let us assume that if the process has not entered into state j by time t, then we can say that time taken that x of t is less than j. That implies xi plus 1 and so on until xj minus 1 is greater than t. Therefore, for I less than j, we have for pure birth process p of the transition is occurring from I to j in time interval t. Therefore, we can write this equation 1. Since xi plus 1, xj minus 1 are independent exponential random variables with respect to rates lambda 1, lambda I, lambda and so on, lambda j minus 1. Therefore, by substituting the respective values in equation 1, we get equation 2. Replace j by j plus 1 in equation 2 gives the third equation. Since the time taken to takes place transition in time t from state I to j is given by p of x of t less than j plus 1 happened x of I equal to I minus p of x of t less than j condition x of 0 equal to I. By substituting the values, we get that Pij of t equal to sigma k equal to I to j e power minus lambda kt product of product runs from r equal to I to j lambda r by lambda r minus k minus sigma k equal to I to j minus 1 e power minus lambda k t. Product runs from r equal to I to j minus 1 lambda r by lambda r minus k. Okay, now we will derive some set of differential equations that transition probability satisfies in general continuous time Markov chain. Therefore, for any two pairs of states I and j, we can define that Qij equal to Vi into Pij, where Pij is the transition probability and Vi is the rate at which process makes a transition when in state I. Qij is known as rate when in state I at which process makes a transition into state j. These quantities are called instantaneous transition states. Since this Vi is equal to summation or all j Vi into Pij, that means summation Qij for all j, for all transition states until j. And from equation 1, the above equation we can say that, and from above equation we can say that Pij equal to Qij by Vi. That implies Pij equal to Qij by summation or for all j values Qij. Equation 2 is specifying that if we can able to determine the transition probability if we know their instantaneous transition rates when transition occurs from state I to state j. Now let's see some lemmas which will be useful in proving some of the equations. Lemma A, limit h tends to 0, 1 minus pi of h by h equal to Vi. Lemma B, limit h tends to 0, Pij of h by h is equal to Qij when I not equal to j. Let's first prove the lemma A. Since we know that the amount of time until a transition occurs is exponentially distributed, hence the probability of two or more transitions occur in time h, which is very small time. Let us assume that value to be O of h, very small value compared to the total transition occurring time. Then 1 minus pi of h denotes the probability that a process in state I at time 0 will not be in state I at time h. That means there is the probability that when process state in which is present in state I at time t0 and will not present in state I at time h. That we can also write this 1 minus pi of h as probability that transition occurs, that is Vi, within time h plus small value. As that is a small value, that means you are assuming that two or more transitions happens in time t, that is Vi of h plus O of h. Then applying the limit we will get that Vi. Hence prove lemma A. Let's go to proof of lemma B. Lemma B, limit h tends to 0, Pij of h divided by h is equal to Qij when I not equal to j. Lemma 2, yes, Pij of h, it's denoting the probability that goes from state I to state j in time interval h. This can also be you can write as probability that transition occurs, that is with rate Vi, into probability that probability transition occurs into state j, that is Pi of j in time interval h plus O of h very small O of h is very small value compared to h. That means when this will occur when two or more transitions happen in time t. Then apply the limit and we will get this equation Vi into Pij, which is equal to Qij when I not equal to j. Let us see one more lemma. For all s comma t greater than or equal to 0, s and t are time intervals, then Pij of t plus s can be written as sigma k equal to 0 to infinity Pik of t into Pkj of s. As we know that for a process to go from state I to state j in time t plus s, it must somewhere in state t, then it must be somewhere in some state at time t. Let that state be k. Then Pij of t plus s is equal to P of x of t plus s when in state j. Initially when it is at x of 0, at time 0 it is in state I. Then summation, then apply summation. We can also write the above equation as k equal to 0 to infinity P of x of t plus s equal to j, comma x of t equal to k. Between, that means at time interval t, let us assume that it is at state some k. Initially it is at state I. Then by conditioning we can write this equation as this equation. Then solve the equation using then solve the equation. Then we can get that these two terms, which means the probability when state when it occurs transition from k to j in time interval s, that is pkj of s, into probability the transition occurs from state I to k in time interval t, that is pik of t. This is called sigma k equal to 0 to infinity pik of t pkj of s s. This equation is called Chapman-Kolmogorov equation. Let us consider Pij of h plus t minus Pij of t. By above Chapman-Kolmogorov equation, we can write this expression and subtract it from Pij of t. Then we can obtain this expression by summation by writing sigma to the entire equation. Then apply limit, and when applying limit, we have to assume by applying limit we will get this term. We are assuming that sigma summation and limit interchanging is applicable, but in generally in all times it is not applicable. Let us assume that in this case it is applicable. Then after doing the some computation, after doing that limit after applying and taking sigma out, we will get the equation that is similarly like this. After doing some computation, then sigma k not equal to y limit h tends to 0 pik of h into pkj of t minus limit h tends to 0 1 minus pi of h by h pij of t. From above mentioned two lemma, we can say that this value is called qik, which is the rate at which when transition occurs from state k to I, minus this value is called vi, which is rate. This is instantaneous rate. This is rate in a rate in which it makes transition into state j. Then we will get that as this is an limit. This term is called differentiation of this expression pij of t plus h. We will get that p dash of ij of t equal to this equation. Then for all states I comma j and time interval t greater than or equal to 0, we can say that above equation is called Kolmogorov's backward equation. This equation is called Kolmogorov's backward equation. Similarly, let us consider once again the above equation by taking pij of t plus h. In above proving of backward equation, we assume h plus t. Now we take t plus h, then apply the Chapman-Kolmogorov equation, then do some calculation and apply once again limit on both sides. After applying the limits, here also assuming that interchanging of limit in summation is possible, but this is not always applicable. But for all birth and death process and for all finite state models, it is this interchanging of limit and summation is applicable. Hence do some computation and we will get that this value, which is pij of t p dash ij of t is equal to sigma k not equal to j qkj pk of t minus vj into pij of t. This is called as Kolmogorov's forward equation. Let's do some let's find some forward equations for pure birth process. In pure birth process, we know that pij dash of t equal to lambda j minus 1 into pij minus 1 of t minus lambda j into pij of t, where lambda j minus 1 lambda j are distinct birth rates. By noting that we already know that pij of t equal to 0 when j less than I, since no death occurs before making any transitions. Therefore, we can write the equation above equation p dash ii of t equal to minus lambda I pi of t, and pij dash of t equal to lambda j minus 1 p I comma j minus 1 of time t minus lambda I into pij of t when j greater than or equal to I plus 1. Let's solve these equations to get some equations which are forward equations in pure birth process. First apply integration on both sides of equation 1. Then we will get that log of pi of t equal to minus lambda I t plus c. Then we know that pi of 0 equal to 1. By solving that, we will get that pi of t equal to e power minus lambda I t and I is greater than or equal to 0. Now take the equation number 2. Pi here we can take this term to this side and multiply both sides by e power lambda j t and e power lambda j t. Then we can write this part. this part as d by dt of e power minus lambda jt into pij of t. Then apply integration. Then solving, we will get that pij of t equal to e power minus lambda jt into lambda j minus 1 into integral 0 to 0 to t e power minus lambda j into s into pi comma j minus 1 of s into ds for all j greater than or equal to I plus 1. This is about transition probabilities. Now let's go into another topic which is known as limiting probabilities. Similarly, like discrete Markov chain, we will know that when transition occurs from state I to state j, it often converges to some limiting value which is independent of initial state. Now in this case, let us call this as let us denote it by pj, which is can be obtained by applying limit t tends to infinity pij of t. Then let us assume that limit exists and independent of state I. This is our assumption. We are assuming that this condition is applicable. Then consider the set of forward equation which we proved above. That is this equation, Kolmogorov forward equation. Then that is pij dash of t equal to this equation. Let us find this limiting probability for this forward equation by approaching t to infinity. Here also we are making assumption that interchange of limit and summation is possible. As mentioned above, we are told that it is possible to interchange limits and summation in birth death process and some finite state models. Finite state models means models which we have some finite states in Markov chain only. And by applying the limit t tends to infinity, we will get this equation. Already we know that pij of t, it means it is a probability function. That means it has to, there exists value between 0 to 1, hence it is a bounded function. It must converges. It must converge to 0. As it must converges to 0, we will get this equation. Then vj pj equal to sigma qkj kj for all k not equal to j for all states j. This equation is applicable. And we also know that limiting probabilities for all states pj summation overall j equal to, it must be 1. From both these equations, we can find the pj for all states j. Now let us determine some limiting probabilities for both birth and death process. As mentioned above in the above discussion, we can say that this we can write the balanced equations using for each state 0, 1, 2 and so on n. These equations mainly based on balanced equations. In one state, rate at which leaves is equal to rate at which enter. By writing the balanced equations, we will get these equations. Now add these equations and subtract from the above equations. We will get this equations lambda naught p naught equal to mu1 p1, lambda 1 p1 equal to mu2 p2 and so on. Lambda n pn equal to mu n plus 1 pn plus 1 for all n greater than or equal to 0. Now we can say that p1 equal to lambda naught by mu1 into p naught, p2 equal to lambda 1 by mu2 into p1. That means lambda 1 lambda 0 by mu1 mu2 equal to p naught. Overall, while writing that, we can get that pn equal to lambda n minus 1 lambda n minus 2 and so on, lambda 1 0 divided by mu n minus 1 mu n minus 2 and so on, mu2 mu1 into p naught. And we know that as the summation of all limiting probabilities must be equal to 1. By applying that, we will get that 1 equal to p naught plus p naught into summation over all this entire term. By taking the p naught as highlighting the required value, we will get this equation. Then we will get the generalized expression of pn, that is lambda naught lambda 1 lambda 2 and so on, lambda n minus 1 by mu1 mu2 mu3 and so on, mu n into 1 plus sigma n equal to 1 to infinity lambda naught lambda 1 and so on, lambda n minus 1 divided by mu1 mu2 mu3 so on for all n greater than or equal to 1. These are the limiting probabilities for birth and death process. Now let us discuss about another topic which is known as time reversibility. Let pi a denotes the limiting probability in this case. Then pi a can be written as summation of all j pi j pj for all I. And we also know that sigma I for all pi equal to 1. As these equations are written similarly like this in this limiting probabilities only, but we are assuming the notation pj by pi I. Then we can say that every ergodic birth and death process is reversible. For reversibility, the main condition is that how much rate the birth occurs, then birth and death process occur from state I to I plus 1. At the same rate, the transition occurs from I plus 1 to I, then only we can say that the process is reversible. For example, in some length in some length time t, let us assume the number of transition from I to I plus 1 must be equal to within n, then with some occurs with some number, then the same number must have to occur transition from I plus 1 to I. Since between each transition from I to I plus 1, the process must return to I to complete the process. Therefore, this can occur, and this can occur only through I plus 1. So number of such transition occurs from, so such a number of such transition occurs from occurs as t tends to infinity, as when it is in state I to making transition to I plus 1, it must return to I through only I plus 1. Therefore, we can say that by diagrammically we can say that the transition occurs from I to I plus 1, at which rate it occur, it is occurring with only the same rate. Hence we can say that the transition occurs from, then the rate at which transition occurs from I to I plus 1 is same as the rate at which transition occurs from I plus 2 I. Hence we can say that the birth death process is reversible. This is about reversibility concept. Now next part will be continued by Pranav. That's it.
In this context, we are going to discuss about the uniformization. This is the very efficient way to compute the transient probabilities of continuous time Markov chain. Now, let us consider a continuous time Markov chain in which the mean time spent in each state is same. That is, if we consider a particular state I which has the mean time spent in is as Vi, then Vi equal to V for all states I. Now, from the above discussion, we have Pij of t equal to probability that the transition occurring from the state I to the state j. Now, let us consider this equation as the equation number 1. Now, let n of t denote the number of state transition occurred by the time t. Now, by using condition probability, by conditioning n of t on the above equation 1, we obtain that P of I of j of t equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity P of x of t equal to j, given that in transition are happened in time t and x of j and starting from the state I into probability that in transition in a time t. Since we know that the n of t will be the Poisson process, so we can write probability that n of t equal to n given that p of x of 0 equal to I as e power minus vt whole power n by n factorial. Now, to depict this pictorially, let us consider a continuous time Markov chain which has m states. Now, initially we are at state I. We have to make a transition from I to j in a time t. Now, in first transition, we can go to any one of the states, and means we can go to any one of the states from 1 to n, and this is our first transition. And that in remaining n minus 1 transition, we have to go from any one of the states to the state j. Here, this is nothing but we are summing all possible states from which we can reach from state I to the state j. Since the time spent in each state is same, in each state is same, so by using n of t equal to n gives us no additional information that which states are being visited, which states are being not has been visited. Now let us consider probability that x of t equal to j, given that x of 0 equal to I and n of t equal to n as Pn of I of j, where this Pij of n denotes the n stage probability. Now, substituting this Pij of n in our above equation, we obtain the equation 2, that is Pij of t equal to summation from n equal to 0 to infinity Pij n e power minus vt whole power n by n factorial. But now this equation 2 seems to be correct, but there is a small problem in it. That is our assumption. We assume that mean time spent in all state is same, but in reality that may not be the case. But most of the continuous time Markov chains can be converted into this form by introducing a new fictional self loop to the each state. To achieve this, let us consider a Markov chain which has which the rate is bounded in it. That is, if a particular state Vi, if a particular state the rate of it is Vi, then Vi is bounded by the V. Now let us introduce that the rates are such that let us divide the rate Vi by V. In this case, only the fraction Vi by V is the exit rate from a state I. The remaining part, that is 1 minus Vi by V, is the transition that occur into the same state. That means we are adding a self loop to the state. Now our new probabilities become P star of ij equal to 1 minus Vi by V for j equal to I, and Vi by V P of ij for I not equals j. So our, by substituting this in equation 2, our new equation comes as Pij of t equal to summation n equal 0 to infinity Pij star n e power minus Vt into Vt whole power n by n factorial, where Pij star n is nothing but the in-state transient probability corresponding to our new assumption. Now, this process or this technique of uniformizing the rate in which transition occurs from each state by introducing the rate in which the self-transition occurs. This process or technique is known as uniformization. Now, let us consider a small example. Let's consider this continuous time Markov chain in which we have three states 1, 2, 3, and the rate at which the transition occurs from the state 1 to 2 is lambda, and the rate at which transition occurs from 2 to 3 is also lambda. From 3 to 2 the rate is mu, and 2 to 1 also the rate is mu. Now let us consider that these rates are bounded by lambda plus mu. So to convert this continuous time Markov chain into uniformized continuous time Markov chain, we have to divide every rate by the bounded rate. That is, we have to divide each state by the bounded time, that is lambda by q. Q is nothing but lambda by lambda plus mu, because lambda plus mu is our bounded rate. Now here, as we know that all the probabilities which are exiting from the state I should sums up to 1. So we are introducing a new self loop which is equal to mu by q, and from then the transition occurs from the state 1 to 2 with a rate of lambda by q, and the transition which is occurring from 2 to 3 also lambda by q, and here in state 3 we are again introducing a self loop that is lambda by q. Now hence we are converting our continuous time Markov chain into uniformized continuous time Markov chain by introducing a new self loop to it and by uniformizing the rates. Now this process is known as the uniformization, and this is the efficient way to compute the transient probabilities. Now let us compute the transient probabilities. In the above discussion, we have Kolmogorov backward equation and forward equation. Now let us consider Rij equal to Qij if I not equal to j, and minus Vi for I equal to j. Now by substituting this Rij in above Kolmogorov's backward equation and forward equation, we get the new equations like Kolmogorov backward equation becomes summation k Rik into Pkj of t, and the forward equation becomes summation upon k Rkj into Pik of t. Now let us consider three matrices such that P dash, P and R, such that P dash equal to R into P. Now from this we can write P dash of 1 1 equal to k summation upon k equal to 1 to 3 R1 k into P k n1. This above equations is very similar to our updated Kolmogorov equation which I have studied here. Now that means we can say that the Kolmogorov backward equations can be represented in the matrix form. That is P dash of t equal to R into P of t, where R is R, P dash of t, P of t are the matrix. Now this equation is equivalent to F dash of t C into F of t. From the differential equations, by applying the differential concept on it, we have F of t, the solution for the differential equation F of t equal to F of 0 into e power ct. By applying the solution to our Kolmogorov's backward equation and forward equation, we obtain that P of t equal to P of 0 into e power RT. Since we know that P of 0 equal to I, that's nothing but identity matrix. So P of t equals to e power RT, where e power RT is nothing but summation from n equal to 0 to infinity R power n t power n by n factorial. Now here we have a problem. Since the R matrix considers both positive values and negative values, there is a problem when we are calculating in the R to the power of n values. There will be a computer round of error. So this is a problem in this approximation. And the second problem is we have to calculate the infinite sums and so many powers for this equation, so which can make calculation very heavy. So we are going to approximate this equation. Now for a better approximation, we know that e power x equal to limit n tends to infinity 1 plus x by n whole to the power of n. Now in our case, e power rt equal to limit n tends to infinity 1 plus RT by n whole power n. Now, if we consider n is a power of 2, that means n is equal to 2 power k. Now, by choosing a n such that by doing that k multiplication on the matrix I plus RT by n, we can achieve the better approximation, and with that to the less computation, and with non-negative values also doesn't matter here. So from this approximation, by applying this, we get a good approximation. That's it. Thank you.